Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Come on. Do it. Do it!
You know, it's funny being in the position that I'm in, because if I criticize a show like Moon Knight, which deserves it by the way, people will come out of the woodwork to say and do things to discredit my opinion in some way. Yet if you are a person who refuses to see flaws in anything MCU related, and just willingly accepts everything they give to you, then somehow that's a different situation.
My, how the tables have turned.
There is such a thing as toxic positivity, and it stems from people thinking shows like Moon Knight are somehow above criticism. If you can't take me seriously because I find a lot of flaws in MCU properties, then I can't take you seriously if you show up praising Moon Knight with a Moon Knight profile picture. I'd say your bias is pretty clear and strong at that point, and this is what people don't seem to understand, because there is a very clear double standard happening here. You either have to fall in line and shill for everything, or face the wrath of the MCU stans.
Fuck me, right?
The difference between me and everyone else is, I don't give a fuck. If you can accept a difference of opinion and have a conversation about it, then you are welcome here. If you want to act like a sensitive bitch and get in your feelings, then maybe this isn't the place for you. You see, I judge things based on what I'm seeing, not based on my fandom. That's the difference between you and me.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
So when I see a tweet like this, I start to question what is really important to people, and whether or not they are capable of actually using their brains. And to be clear, in most cases they are not. Marvel is genius apparently, because the moon gets fuller in the credits for each Moon Knight episode. Yes, because film students will be studying the Moon Knight credits for years to come now. Fuck cinematography, fuck directing, fuck characters. If you put an Easter egg in your credit sequence, then you will be looked at as a genius.
That makes sense.
Is this any more proof that people desperately need to raise their standards? Episode 4 of Moon Knight asks such riveting questions as, is it cheating if you kiss the alter ego of your fiancé? My god, I never really thought about it, but the world needs to know the answers to this. There's a lot of relationship shit happening in this episode. You have Steven kissing Layla, and Mark getting mad at Steven for kissing Layla, and Mark makes Steven hit himself as punishment because, you know, MCU I guess.
Had you ever heard of the healing power of laughter?
Cult leader Ethan Hawke, yes I know that's not his name in the show, but I don't really care, informs Layla that Mark killed her father. And then he yells at her to wake up. And I felt like he was talking directly to me as I sat on my couch, dozing off while watching this episode. Layla, of course, eventually confronts Mark about these accusations, and he denies it, but he also says he was there, and that his partner is the one who executed her father.
I don't care!
So basically he knew about it all this time and never really said anything to her. So not only is this show making Mark look like a complete fucking dick to build up Layla, but Layla gets to have some of the best, if not the best moment in this episode. There's a scene in this episode that is probably the most horrific thing that the MCU has ever done. It's PG-13 horror at best, so don't get too excited, but it does have a lot of potential to be entertaining if it wasn't surrounded by a bunch of shit.
Because it's all part of the plan.
Because at one point Layla is stalked by this subterranean descent-like creature, and she also defeats it, by the way. It feels like anything cool that the showrunners had planned for this show was instantly given to Layla. Everything from the horror to the action, this isn't even a bait and switch anymore. The switch has already been made. When your side character feels more important and feels more fleshed out than your main character, then she might not be a side character.
No shit.
Another goal of this episode was to further portray Steven's inner turmoil. And it involves him trying to convince himself that he has that heroic side to him deep down inside him somewhere. Between this and the new Thor trailer, it feels like Marvel is going all in on their heroes trying to find themselves. If Thor is any indication, my guess is by the end of Moon Knight, Steven and Mark will be madly in love with each other. And they'll have to invent a new term for whatever sexuality that happens to be. Never mind, it probably already exists. Yep, I just googled it and I hate myself. Clearly, this man baby is not paying attention and has no respect for people with dissociative identity disorder. Moon Knight is bringing awareness to this condition, and you choose to remain blissfully ignorant. Of course, forming a relationship with your alternate personality is possible, you incel. Alternate personalities are people too. Newsflash. If it were me, I would marry my alternate personality just so I can go screw myself. Because we all know no one else wants to, and anyone who has a problem with that deserves to get cancelled. Yeah, where I'm from, that's just called being a fucking whack job. But let's move on. Oh, and by the way, there is a small moment in this episode where Layla points out that Ethan Hawke's character is a condescending male. Because strong women don't need compliments, jerk off. Yes, queen! And then we come to the point in this episode that blew everything away in the shitstorm sweepstakes. Mark gets shot and we are transported into this dreamlike world where he is in an insane asylum and Ethan Hawke is the doctor. At one point he's running through the asylum and he finds Steven inside of a sarcophagus. So at this point the two personalities are able to interact with each other as individuals. This scene had a lot of random shit that really didn't amount to much. And it finishes off with the two personalities coming face to face with a hippo in a pharaoh's armor, and they both scream like little girls as the episode comes to an end. Riveting stuff here.
Whoopie fucking do. Hey, I'm impressed.
Word to the wise to anyone who's out there creating their own stories right now, just because something is weird does not mean that it's good. The final 16 minutes of this episode were the biggest waste of time yet, and that's saying a lot for this show. How on earth they decided to go this route with a Moon Knight show, I'll never understand. This seems like it would have been a perfect opportunity for them to finally take one of their characters seriously, but instead, they turned him into a joke, just like everyone else in this universe. So have you seen Moon Knight Episode 4? If you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Shut up.